Y'all, how cute is this? We're going to make this today. So this just opens up. What this is just a notebook cover. So if you have a small notebook, you don't have to get anything fancy to cover it. You just cover your own. That simple, no sewing, nothing. So let's make one of these. So I have this right in the rain, and it's okay. But let's cover it today. So I just got a piece of fabric, and actually this is what I used, and I just tore it. So I measured it, like I wrapped it around here, and I gave it plenty of room. So you can see how much by pinching it. I gave it plenty of room, and especially here. And then I just made a little slit with my scissors and just tore the fabric because I love those rough edges. So let's get this in place and make sure it's even here. So we're just going to keep it just like this. And I would iron it. I just don't have time. And then what I want to do, so we don't have to sew, is just glue it down. So I'm going to make sure that's even, and just put like I don't want it to be bumpy. Usually I would brush this on with, a paintbrush or something, or smooth it down, but I don't want to spend a bunch of time on it. So we're just going to glue that down like that. Again, making sure it's fairly even, and it's not. I'm using the tacky glue because it's really easy to stick, but yet it still gives you time to move it around and position it correctly. Okay, so we just have that front and just smooth it down really, really well. And then let's cover the inside. Now, you want to stop and think about the inside here. Do you want to leave this as a pocket so you can slip stuff in, or you can just glue it down completely? Okay, I've got a notebook where I can, my regular pocket notebook, I have so many spots that I can tuck things in. So I'm just going to glue this completely down like this. Because like I said, I don't need that pocket to tuck anything in. Just smooth it down as best you can. Now that white is just glue coming through. It will be transparent here pretty soon, as soon as it dries. Okay, so now let's get this part. And this is the no-sew method. If you sew it, if you do a sewing method, of course, these covers can be taken off and reused. But honestly, they're so fast to make. I'm just gluing mine down so I don't have to worry with it. And I don't want to have to sew it. But they're so fast to make that I don't care, about. And I archive all my notebooks anyway, so it'll just be archived with this pretty cover on it. Okay. And like I said, if you want a pocket, just put a little glue here and a little glue here. And zoom out so you can see this a little better here. There we go. And that's all there is to it. And I left a little lip, kind of like this one. Okay. Because you can do it the same size, but I just want it to be, this book to be fully hidden. So when you close it, it still looks good. Okay. Now, isn't that cute? Okay, so let's zhuzh it up, my word. Okay, so this has like a little clip. And what I've made in the past, I've made these, I really need to do a tutorial on these, but I just take old junk jewelry that I find at thrift stores or garage sales, and I just take my little wire snippers and cut them, and then I put them on a safety pin with the loop. See the chain? I just put part of the chain links inside the loop, and then I make my own little paper beads. I really need to do a tutorial on that, but and this was just, like I said, a necklace and then one of my paper beads. So it was really nothing to it. So before this glue dries, let's get this in here. And this is also why I left some of this. Actually, you know what? To keep this part closed, let's just put it together with this. Isn't that cute? Actually, let's put it on the other side. And this, I'm glad this happened so you can see how I did this. So this is just, the beads are just a roll of paper that I glued together and sealed with a shiny fingernail polish. That's all there is to that. And then, almost dropped it again. That would be my luck. And then I just like to kind of loop it in just like that. Give it a different look to it here. Actually, what did I do? Okay, let's try this again. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I know it won't go through that way. There we go. Okay, just like that. And then let's put it, well, we want to pinch this together like this. There, and now it hangs better. It hangs like I want it to hang. Okay, so something simple like that. And I'm just using this to mimic, but we can do this really in any way. So this has some lace and some buttons and a word here. So let's get some lace. And I have these scraps. I keep everything. I keep little pieces of scraps for projects exactly like this. So let's see, we've got, I don't have anything really fancy, but we have this piece of lace, and let's do something a little different. Let's just put it like that. You know me, I have to have things wonky and quirky. Me and my words. Okay, there we go. And it doesn't need a lot of glue, just especially with this Eileen's tacky glue, just a little bit to get it to stay on. And let's do a button. I have a bunch of these I got at an antique store. Actually, a very good friend of mine bought them for me. She's so sweet. She knows how I love buttons. Don't want to do that. I want it to be, I want it to show better. Okay, so let's get that. And I could put some thread in it, but to save time, I'm not going to. And just tie like a little bow. That would be really cute. You know what? some of you may say, what is she talking about? So let's just do it. When I rip fabric, I keep all the little strings, and this is what I use it for. Stuff like this. Now, if this doesn't work, I will have to edit it out, but I think this will go through. And you can get a tapestry needle or whatever and thread it and run it through, but this is big enough to where I can get it through like this. Okay, and then let's cut it about here. Now let's get this other one through. And see, it's still a no-sew journal because I'm not using a needle. Actually, let me see here. Let's get that to a point. There we go. And I'm just going up here in the opposite hole, opposite or adjacent, whatever you call it, catty corner to this, the other corner. If I can get it through. There we go. Okay. And tweezers and stuff like that can help too. Okay. So that's how we have that. Okay. Can you see that? Now let's just tie a little bow. This is going to be so cute. And just think of the little, you could give these away as gifts. And you can buy, it doesn't have to be Write in the Rain notebook, but you can get these little at, Dollar Tree or whatever, get tiny notebooks or whatever notebook size you want and make little gifts for people. Just cover them. Or you can do it for you. Maybe you want to do something really cute for your school notebooks if you go to school. So I love that. Okay, and then let's just trim this. We don't want it super long. How cute is that? Okay, let's get this glued down. And I've been getting so many sweet messages from you guys. Thank you so much. How you like how I explain things, and I hope so. I always feel like I'm kind of scatterbrained because I can't do something and talk at the same time. Very easily I can, but not very easily. You know what? Let's get another. So thank you for the compliment, by the way. Let's get another one. Let's see. We have this little word here from a little mini dictionary that I cut out. It's the definition of story. So let's put this here. And I was going to put a button on it, but I actually want the whole definition to be readable. And I want this, but I want to do it on something. So let's grab our scraps here. See, I really have random pieces, y'all. It's nothing fancy at all. Ooh, here we go. I have this little piece. Where do I want to put that? I know we need one more layer. Oh, here we go. I don't know what it is about stripes and dots together or stripes and plaids, but I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Okay. Is that going to be too big? Yeah, let's cut it down a little bit. Let's cut it this way. because I don't want it to be in major takeover here. It's cute. Okay. So you don't have to be an artist or anything fancy or special. Just kind of eyeball it and put it where you want it. But whoever gets it, it's going to mean something to them because they're going to see that you took your time and thought of them. You took time out of your life, thought of them to make it. And y'all, this is just scrap. I mean, if you don't want to buy material, get an old shirt or something you don't want anymore and use part of that, or an old plaid shirt or whatever, and use that. Cut that up and recycle it. That's what my channel's all about. Use what you have. Well, it's not what it's all about, but it's one thing that I really want to be known for, is use what you have. You don't have to go out to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and get all the latest and greatest. You just do that. You just get what you want. And then I have this little rhinestone here, and I could put that in the middle, but I love that little flower. And see, we have jewels up here, so I'm going to kind of balance that out. Let's put it. See, I have that, and I have this, and this flower mimics this flower. So let's kind of put it. Where do I want it? Oh, I have an idea. Okay, you'll see where I'm going with this in just a minute. And this is just, seriously guys, this is stuff that I've just picked up at little packets of little things at antique stores or thrift stores or whatever. You know how they package little sewing things up or whatever, and they hang them up, little packets, and I just love them. Okay, so let's just put this. Okay, let's just put it here. Let's do that and call it a day. Okay, that way, or otherwise I'll sit here forever and contemplate. Now I want to do, okay, so I have two ideas. Okay, so I have, remember this stuff? What I like to do with this, and I don't get them straight or anything, I just take a bunch of it, and I love to make bows with scrap thread. So save your scrap threads too. Put them in a little baggie like I did, and you can make little bows out of them. They don't have to be neat bows, but just little bows. And see, isn't that cute? But now I could put this here, but let's don't do it quite yet because we have to make our little closure. So I have this lace that I got, again, at an antique store. And you really want to get lace that's, or my suggestion, that's the same on both sides, instead of just a scallop on one side and straight on the other, but just for fun, let's see what it looks like. Okay, so we want it fairly long because I want it to wrap around several times. So let's see, that'll wrap around there and there. And then I have to have some, okay, so let's cut it about here. So you want it fairly long. Let's see how many times long as the width of your book. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so about 7 times. That's not quite 7, but it's close enough. And then you're wanting to take about 1.5 times and put a knot there. And it doesn't have to be a full knot, just like a little knot right there, okay? Like I said, you don't have to wrap it around again to make it a complete knot. And then you want to glue this knot down, and just the knot. You want to glue it somewhere in the middle. You don't have to measure it, but or I mean, if you want to tie it down here, I mean, that's up to you. I like mine kind of in the middle. Okay, so now you have this piece just kind of hanging there. Then you have this piece that can wrap around. And this is why I wanted to keep this here. You can either thread it under here. Hang on. I'm trying to do this. So you can either thread it under here once this dries, thread it under there and tie a knot. Okay. Or okay, I need to get some more glue for that, or you can tie it this way. Just kind of leave it like that. And then you can add even more charms here if you want, or more little, or something to dangle. But I just kind of like mine kind of loose like that. I really need to let this dry, but I don't want to have to pause the video and let it dry and come back. But there you have it. You have the exact, almost, not the exact, but the exact same type of book here. And then if you want to, if you like the idea of this bow made from little scrap strings, threads that you have, you can add that. I just didn't because I don't want to get this all tangled up, although I could put it here, or I could even tie it around that. You know what? That would be cute, wouldn't it? Okay. And that way it won't get tangled up and everything. So let's do that real fast. So let's see what it looks like. I sure hope I'm being in camera every time. I keep forgetting to look to see. Okay. Just make a little simple bow like tying your shoe. Nothing big and fancy. There's all kinds of ways you can make a bow. I'm probably doing it wrong, but okay, wait. Let's fix this a little bit, make it cuter. But I still want it kind of scrappy. I like that scrappy look. I love things to look homemade. There we go. You know what? Let's make it a little bit smaller. And then let's trim up some of these tails. There we go. Trim that. Trim that. Seriously, how cute is that? You can cut that off. Let's cut that off. Usually I like it kind of all wonkery. There's another one of my words. Someday we need to write a word journal for just my funny words. Because I have some doozers. My words are funny. After 56 years of life, I've got some crazy ones. Oh, let's see. Okay, I can fiddle with this all day, but you get the idea. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. So now we have our little fun little journal. And that would even be cute there, but I don't want to cover up the word. But that's all there is to it. Very simple. No sew. Great gift idea for a loved one or a friend, which is, I guess, it would be a loved one. And you can cover up a cheap notebook. These aren't cheap notebooks, but I wanted to cover it and gift it to somebody. Isn't that cute? And you can even write their name on a piece of paper, real fancy if you have good handwriting or not, even if you don't have good handwriting, and glue it right there, just on a piece of paper. And just out of old jewelry you have, buttons that you've picked up, or an old shirt. If you used an old shirt, save those buttons and put those there. Piece of lace, and there you have it. Too cute. I love this. Now I've got to figure out who to gift this to. I've got some friends with some upcoming birthdays that like to journal. So I will do that. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next chapter.